thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.
The role of a woman in the society is to submit. Birth control are the pills of the devil. Education is so fundamental to the development of a people. Hang murderers. Simple as that. What am I voting for? Voting will change nothing.
Tout le monde haïtien, como ye. God save the Queen.
Broadcasting live from ILTV Studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. Welcome to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. I'm a Justice of the Peace here in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And of course, I'm a member of the local Catholic Christian community. Well, today it's a sad day because the widow of the former late Attorney General Paul Laurence Adderley, his widow, Mrs. Lilith Adderley, passed away this morning at Doctor's Hospital. And in the course of our show, we have a statement from the leader of Her Majesty's opposition, which we will refer to later. And then, of course, a new controversy is developing in the country in the aftermath of the Free National Movement government passing an extremely offensive bill. And I'm going to have to call on the Bahamian people to organize to kill that bill. We're going to have to march and demonstrate because the bill does not take into consideration the interests of the Bahamian people. It is a bill designed to benefit foreigners and the friends of the Minister of Financial Services, Brent Simonet. I'm going to show you that we have not had such an evil financial bill like this in many, many generations. And it is a crying shame that Brent Simonet has seized control from the Prime Minister, the Minister of Finance, and the Director of Immigration. So there's some of the things that has me disturbed, and I'm in possession of the bill. It is called the Commercial Enterprises Bill 2017. The people must rise up against it, and we have to organize to kill this bill. Listen to me. This bill is wicked. It is almost if we have returned to what I would want to call economic racism. All you need is $250,000 and Brent Simonet on your application will declare an economic zone for the investor. And guess what? If he applies for a work permit, and if he doesn't hear from the Director of Immigration within 14 days, guess what happened? He has the work permit automatically. So we're going to look at it, and we're going to look at what Brent Simonet mean when he say, if we give all them foreigners these economic benefits, how things going to trickle down. I can tell you what Brent mean by economic trickling down. I see Brent standing on the roof with his pants dropped. Brent, you ain't a peep on the Bahamian people talking about trickle down effect. because I'm prepared to sock you in a perpendicular position. This is Freedom March. I'll be back after the break.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. This is Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. My name is Rodney Monker. Well, we have sad news to report, and that this morning, the widow of the late Paul L. Adderley, a former Attorney General and parliamentarian. Well, his widow, Mrs. Lilith Adderley, passed away this morning at one of the local hospitals. I have here a statement from the leader of the opposition, Philip Brave Davis, on the passing of the late Paul L. Adderley's wife, Lilith Adderley. Today, the Progressive Liberal Party mourns the passing of Mrs. Lilith Adderley, the wife of the late Paul L. Adderley. Mrs. Adderley was committed and devout member of our party and was vetted through her life's work to philosophy and upliftment of ideology of the PLP. She was a genuine PLP warrior who always held strong in her convictions and wanted what was best for her party and her country. She was indeed the strong anchor behind the nation-building work of her late husband. She also contributed much to the legal profession in the Bahamas, as she was tasked with holding together the illustrious law practices of both the late A.F. Adderley and Paul L. Adderley. The Bahamas is a more progressive country today, said Philip Brave Davis, because of the life's work and dedication of persons like Mrs. Lilith Adderley. Her quiet but convicted contributions towards majority rule and nation building ought not to be forgotten, he said. Mr. Davis said she sacrificed the time of her husband and much of her family life for our country. Most importantly, Mrs. Adderley was a supportive model wife and a caring mother to her children. Her kindred spirit has always kept her extended family together. On behalf of the Progressive Liberal Party, I extend sincerest condolences to the family of Mrs. Lilith Adderley, particularly her daughters, Catherine, Roseanne, and Paula. May she rest in peace and rise in glory. So this morning, Mrs. Lilith Adderley, she passed away. And so we here at Freedom March also extend our condolences to the children. Well, tuberculosis, TB, that's what is taking place here in the Bahamas. And we are now receiving reports from parents that they are receiving letters telling them that their school-age children must receive some kind of injection. I've said to the Negro parent, listen, bring me the letter. I need to see the letter. And of course, I doubt I will see it today. But if it's God's will on Monday, I shall have it in my possession. Meanwhile, I call on the Minister of Education and the Minister of Health to please explain the content of the letters which is being sent to parents. because it appears that there is a serious tuberculosis epidemic developing in our schools, because we now have received words that C.H. Reeves, which is on the boundary of R.M. Bailey, are now learning that students are also developing tuberculosis. So we need to know what is going on. Meanwhile, this afternoon, scores of R.M. Bailey students could be seen walking about the Grantstown community. I need to know what's going on in view of the fact that Education Minister, according to Negro sources, had instructed teachers and students of R.M. Bailey School to return to school this morning. But notwithstanding that, I personally saw at least 2 Negro female students from R.M. Bailey at the corner of Market Street and Taylor Street. So I want to know what is going on. And has the tuberculosis been contained? That's very important in view of the fact that TB is a highly contagious disease. So that is what is taking place among the Negro students. Well, I have, yes, just bear with me for a second. Yes. Let me start off by just doing 2 shouts. Today at 6 a.m., I went to Quality Home Center where the sale is taking place as I greeted the woman them who came to shop. And so at this stage, I want to salute a Negro woman who showed up very early and shopped. And what is her name? Well, her name is Andrea Seymour. So, Sister Seymour, I was so happy to greet you. And then, of course, tomorrow is the 80th birthday of Coach Ronald Cartwright. So, Ronald Cartwright, happy birthday tomorrow. And then my granddaughter, she says she wants a shout out in Harbor Island. Granddaughter, Alicia, I salute you and the people of Harbor Island. And if you see your mom, tell her I say shout out. So I've done that. Now, folks, the FNM is clearly betraying us, the Bahamian people. And it is now time for us to go back to the streets. I was thinking that in view of the fact that the Christmas holidays is quickly creeping up on us, that we should perhaps not carry out any political activities. But my God, after I saw the Bahama Journal and I saw the Nassau Guardian and how Brent Simonet is telling the masses of the Bahamian people that when the FNM straighten up the foreign investors and give them everything, there's going to be a trickle-down effect. I am tired of trickle-down effect. I'm tired of that. And as I read the article, I saw Brent like on a hill where there's pond stand, peeing on my people. And I'm tired of this. Why can't the FNM empower us? Why? Why do we have to be the underdog? Why can't Brent grab us by our Negro arms and pull us up to the mountain? But instead, he and the Negro traitors, they have decided that once again, they're going to pursue an economic policy of what? Foreign nationals, as opposed to the Bahamians. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you the Bahama Journal first, and where you will see how the investment bill is offensive. This is the report of a civil servant who must hide his identity out of fear that these Negroes, led by Brent Simonet, will victimize him. And then, of course, here is the Nassau Guardian. New bill to have trickle-down effect. Why can't we own our economy? Why can't the F&M empower us? Why can't we have these economic benefits that Brent Simonet will be able to give to his friends, his families, and who knows else? So we're going to have to look at that, because I had to go and get a copy of this bill, because I can play law school today. I don't forget, I am not a scholar. I'm a gentleman, I'm not a scholar, but I can play scholar today. I am not a professor of the law, but I shall play the law. But before I go into that, there is a disturbing story in the Tribune as it relates to a case that was taken to the Privy Council, in which a lawyer from the law firm of Haller, Wesco & Co. My God, I'm disappointed that these people don't seem to know simple land law. And so I'm going to have to teach them that, because it is disturbing me. The fact that they did two conveyances. Haller, Wesco, don't you know that if a company is not incorporated, no matter how many conveyances is executed in favor of the company, title ain't passed? You mean to tell me you ought to go away to London? You might as well come to me in Black Village. I would have told you that a conveyance must first have an habendum. Habendum. Now, I don't know what it means, but by grab, I know if habendum is not in the conveyance, then the title, damn, improperly passed. And when the vendor, the purchaser dies, title reverts to the vendor. Habendum. So the first thing you have to learn is habendum must be in the conveyance. That's the first thing. Don't mind, I know what it means. I know when it ain't there. Secondly, they put under the Registration of Records Act, Section 10, the person who put their conveyance on record takes priority. But if you put your conveyance on record, but your company has not been incorporated, that becomes a nullity. Jesus, y'all dumb? Y'all dumb. Goodness me. I think I'm going to teach the land law. Don't mind I know it. I could teach it. Don't mind I know it. I could teach it. Man, it's powerful. So now that I encourage Haller, Wesco them, who went way to England for the white judges to tell them land law. Y'all got to learn land law. Why land law is important? Land is the basis of wealth. Don't forget that. Why y'all dumb? Anyway, now having established that, we shall now look at what Brent Simonet has led ministers to do. Lord, forgive me for saying that my prime minister, I better say it in Haitian Creole. Frankie, I don't know if Frankie came back to the Bahamas here, came back to the Bahamas because he went away. And he wouldn't be here to tell ministers what I mean when I say, ministre est stupide. Il est stupide pourquoi l'air monsieur ministre responsable pour finance, Brent Simonet, parlait en pile cas. C'est pas possible pour finir avec Mossa. Anyway, now, let's look at what is taking place with this new bill. All I got is bill. Now, we have where the FNM has set out to make it better for the Philistines, the foreigners, to function in the Bahamas without transparency, without accountability. And I asked the people to let us stop these foreigners from coming in the country. And I invoke an emergency cry. Let us become xenophobic. This is what I call economic xenophobia, because they are putting us in deep mess by this bill. And ain't nothing wrong with a citizen saying, I want to must strange people in my country to make me slaves. And that is what this bill is. It's a slavery bill. So I shall look at it, and I think all through the show, I'll discuss this bill because it's important. It is a bill for an act for the designation of specified commercial enterprises and specified commercial economic zones in the Bahamas. So let's say a foreign investor comes to the Bahamas. He spends $250,000 in Bainstown and Grantstown. He could now apply to Brent Simnett and say to Brent, he wants that area to be declared an economic zone. You heard that? Meanwhile, Dr. Hubert Minnis, who promised us that an FNM government will create a tax zone in Bainstown and Grantstown, continues to pursue foot and has not done that. And I got the evidence. He's not done it. But they come up with legislation for foreign white people. That's what it's for foreign white people. And then, in their legal stupidity, they say that the foreign people could go before an investment board, and Bahamians too can go before the investment board for certain approvals. I ain't looking at my notes yet, you know. I'm playing from memory because I want to show you. Don't mind these Negroes are lawyers. They don't know the law. Don't mind they got Carl Bettel as their chief counsel. Certainly, when Carl talked to them, they understand. Lord, why I gotta play lawyer? I ain't got no legal training. I ain't been to no legal school. But listen, there's some dumb, jiving lawyers in the government, and I'll show it to you all day Friday. I'm playing legal teacher. This is Freedom March. I'll be right back.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV Studios here in Nassau, Bahamas, where today I am playing law professor. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm playing it. I just love to play these roles so I could mock these grossly incompetent Negroes who is being led astray by the Conkey Joe Minister of Financial Services, Brent Simnett. So last night, I think they passed in the House of Assembly, and it's on its way to the Senate, what is called the Commercial Enterprises Bill 2017. So let's look to see what in the bill is the object and reasoning and reasons We need to look at that because they are saying that this bill will help the economy. It will liberalize the economy. That's what they're telling us. You see, liberalize is a big word, and the economy is a big word, and they think we stupid, and they think we lack the capacity to understand. So they're trying to pull one on us, and I'll try and show it to you. Let us not forget their key argument in support of this bill. It says, the bill seeks to liberalize the granting of work permits to an enterprise that wishes to establish itself in the Bahamas and requires work permits for its management team and key personnel. You hear anything about the economy? You hear anything about the economy? I hear nothing. But it tells us the reasoning. Let me read it one more time. Because you know, they're smarter than me. So let me read it again. Objects and reasons behind the bill. Because every bill which we would like to codify into law, there has to be an explanation. It has to be an objective. And you have to state the reason for the bill, or it doesn't make sense. So let's see what Brent Simnett, fool, Dr. Minnis, and a whole minister of what? Finance. Let's see what he tells them. This bill seeks to liberalize the granting of work permits to an enterprise that wishes to establish itself in the Bahamas and requires work permits for its management team and key personnel. So I see nothing in here that tells us that this will create jobs for us. The people them, the masses, the people who voted for the FNM. This is foreign design and foreign objective. These men, if it wasn't a sin, I would call them traitors. But that might be a sin. So God forgive me for calling them traitors. The minister who has all of the powers in this bill is guess who? Brent Simnett. Brent Theodore Simnett. He, by the enactment of this bill, will become a work permit dictator. He ain't got to consult with the cabinet. He ain't got to consult with the prime minister. And in the bill, he also strips certain powers, which is reserved for the prime minister and the minister of finance. Now, under ordinary circumstances, I would have agreed with him, recognizing that this Negro minister of finance don't know where $42 million is. Some days he said the PLP them thief it. Some days he said the PLP them spend it on the election campaign. And one day, some reporters corner him outside the House of Assembly. And when they screw him up in his political collar, and they say, where? The $42 million. He said, and the PLP said in the cabinet, in the consolidated fund. Said the PLP said in the consolidated fund, it must be there. So I can understand Brent wanting to take power from that grossly inefficient Negro Minister of Finance. But Brent is doing it for ulterior political and economic motives. So, as I play law teacher with you Negroes, right? That power is going to be reserved to Brent Simnett, the minister responsible for financial services. And that is what he has done. Now I need to turn to page 3, because page 3, according to my notes, is an important page. So I'm going to page 3, where it tells us that a foreign investor, upon making application to Brent Theodore Simnett to create a zone. Upon it being granted, well, he got to pay $250,000. Okay? And the payment, and there is a fee, an application fee of $500. So if they're applying the application, $500. Once they prove to Brent an investment of $250,000, right? They can apply for their work permits. Now, what is curious here and racist, I'll show it to you. The foreign investor is allowed to come into the country for 30 days. You hear me? 30 days. While in the case of others, let's use Haitians. And this is important because in this country, there are thousands of citizens of Haitian descent. And I want to show you how the F&M practice economic racism and work permit racism. In the case of Haitians and other Negroes who have been living in the Bahamas, when you apply for work permits, you are now required to leave the island and go to your country. But in the case of these so-called foreign investors, and by that, they mean white people. That's what they mean. They could come into the country for 30 days. They can make an application for work permit. And the trick is, if they hear from immigration within 14 days, they got the work permit automatically. That is what they're doing. And they need not advertise the vacancy. There is no requirement for them, one, to advertise the vacancy, and two, to get a letter from Dion Fowlkes, the Minister of Labor, to certify to the Immigration Department that there are no Bahamians, one, qualified, and two, available. You see the slickness Brent got? So, he puts in it that Bahamians could also apply to the investment board. But Brent know better than that. Brent know that no Bahamian citizen who wishes to get into any business is required either by law or policy to make any application to the investment board. But Brent them, with their political wicked self, slip that in on us. And we don't have to. Once you are a Bahamian, you go in any business you want to go in. You ain't got to apply to an investment board, but that's what Brent them slip in. Now, if I didn't know, but in my mind, since I don't know this to be a fact. I really don't. But in my mind, I think it's dishonesty on the part of Brent Simnett and the two other Negro ministers who is supporting him in the perpetration of this wicked, sinful bill upon the Bahamian people, because they're misleading us. And it's important to note that those jobs will not be available to Bahamians, and many of them Bahamians can do. But that's how dishonest the F&M is. And that is how politically, I don't know what to call it, menace is. Because he promised the poor, the black poor, he promised to give us a tax zone. But by grab, what is he doing? He got Brent with a whole bill designed to appease foreigners. You know, better put on your xenophobic mask. You better put it on. You better put it on, because these Negroes, oh Lord, they're horrible in what they are perpetrating on us. And I need you all to know. So now, I want to show you what they talk about, the application to the board. Any commercial enterprise that is desirous of making an investment in the Bahamas and obtaining work permits in respect of its senior management or in-house professionals may apply to the board for a specified commercial enterprise certificate. So watch what they're doing. Watch what they're doing. And students at the University of the Bahamas and other students in our high schools should go to the House of Assembly and get the bill. So you will understand, when you cannot advance economically in the country, how Brent Simonet and Dr. Minnis and that incompetent Minister of Finance kept us down. This will be the first time in my lifetime that I'll be able to accuse Dr. Minnis and Brent Simonet of keeping black people down, because it doesn't empower us. And it is the people who voted for them. And what time is it? It is the people's time. But the first legislation isn't designed for the people. It is designed, as Brent say, for trickle-down effect. What that means? It means that these foreigners will come and be given everything, and we will have to sit at the floor, on the floor, for the crumbles to fall on the ground so we could pick it up. You mean to tell me, in my 60th year, as I approach 60 plus in 5 days, that I will continue to have these people who will hold us down? Take it from me. They're holding us down. They're holding down the black masses. They are holding us down. It is led by Brent Simonet, and Dr. Minnis and the Minister of Finance are in collusion. They're in collusion. So we have to stand up to kill the bill. What is the rally cry? Let us kill this bill. It's a wicked bill. Let's kill the bill, because it does not empower the black masses. And what time is it? What time is it? What time is it? It's the people's time. And who's the people? I thought it was us and the Conkey Joe people. I thought it was us and the Conkey Joe people. Well, as we examine the F&M bill, it's not for us. It's for foreigners. That's what it's for. And so, once again, y'all married the Golan. Y'all married a Golan. Dr. Minnis is the Golan. Brent Simonet is a Golan. And Peter Tainquest is a Golan. And if it was not a sin, I would have said, damn fool, you married the Golan. Y'all think y'all married a man. Y'all married a big black bird. Brent is a Negro bird. And Dr. Minnis and Peter Tainquest, they're the lead Negro Golan. So as I played law school and I examined their law, it is clear to me that these fellas ain't safe. So now let's go and look at some more of this law. Let's see what Brent says here, where such a certificate has been issued. The person who received the same, I mean, can you imagine it? They could go into Family Island, just apply, and that becomes an economic zone that gives them benefits that you, with your stupid self, who vote F&M. I told you all don't vote F&M. I said, if you can't vote for the PLP, let's go on the beach. You all laugh. Now, watch what is taking place. Nothing the F&M has done to empower our people. Nothing to empower our people. And their first piece of economic legislation is designed for foreigners. That's who it's designed for. Foreigners. And then, of course, there's this little small provision where them people who are wealthy, like Brent Friends, they will gain the economic benefits, and y'all will continue to be economic slaves. Your children will remain an economic slave, your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren, because of this kind of legislation in which many of us, we're catching hell. We ain't got time to read these things. We ain't got time to follow it because we're trying to find little grits and little corned beef. And life is hard. But this is what they're putting on us. And they say, what time is it? So it's a terrible thing that is taking place in our country. And it must be resisted. We need young, bright, revolutionary, young men and women to come to the front, examine the bill, and see how in 2017, just voting these Negroes. Let's look at it. Let's count it. May, June, July, August, September, October, November, 6 months. Watch what they have done to us. In 6 months' time, Menace ain't plant peas or corn, but he wants an increase in salary. 6 months. What did they do? The foreign white forces, those who pay for their finances, they have come up with a bill to empower them. Nothing for us. It is as if we are cursed. That's what it is. It is as if we are cursed. Because every time we put or repose confidence in these Negroes, they continue to let us down. Now they got this bill designed for foreign people who could come into the country for 30 days. Immigration ain't got no power to ask them anything. All right? Brent Simnett has taken on these powers. And Menace, with a long toe, he stand up right there, and it is as if he is not living on this planet. And that's why I told y'all, I believe that they are aliens, honestly. I believe Menace is from Mars. Peter Turnquest is from Jupiter. And I believe that Brent Simnett is from Saturn. I honestly believe it. They're not earthlings. And I'm going to test it. Because the next time I see them, I see Brent, I can say, boo, and see if he disappears. Then, when I see Dr. Menace, I'm giving 2 zap. Boop, boop, boop. And then, Peter Turnquest, I'm going to give him 5. I'm going to say to him, may the force be with you. Because I don't believe they're from the Bahamas. I don't believe they're from the earth. I believe they're from outer space. Their policies are out of space. Oh boy, I gotta play lawyer. Huh? Now, I want to go to section 4. Because section 4 tells us that the foreigners will get a work permit for 3 years. Can you imagine that? 3 years. Now, it starts off that once they make the application, you know Brent Simnett clumsy. He's politically clumsy. So, they apply. And if within 14 days, nobody answered them, for whatever reason, they got a work permit for 3 years with the right to apply after that for another 3 years. And suppose Brent wake up and he remember they apply. They have a work permit again for 3 years. That's 6 years. And then who ain't got no work permit, they could come for 30 days. That's what they're doing to us. Boy, everybody think we stupid, eh? Everybody think we are stupid. And guess what? We are stupid. We are stupid. And that is why we have to show Brent. Let us don't worry about Menace. Menace is a Negro. He's not in charge of the plantation. This is a plantation, and the overseer, the sahseer, is Brent. Now, Brent is a Negro too. Don't mind he looks like that. Brent is a Negro. He's a Negro. And so we're going to have to get up and challenge them because this is not right. Oh boy. And now Brent has offered us the trickle down effect. Oh, tout le monde haïtien, la tête, moi, m'a gardé Brent Simonette, campé, nan monte, pantalon, drop, and bagay li, pise, nan tête la, pep moi yo. Papa Nuki, protectez-moi, sorti, pise, minister responsable pour financial service, Brent Simonette. Oh, my work will never be over as long as I live. My God, I got to go to my organized demonstration to kill this bill. Help me kill the bill. Let's kill this bill because it is not a bill that we need. Oh boy, I'm saying things now. I see all kind of foreign white people just getting all kind of commercial zoning, economic zones. And our people, we even can't get no job. I don't get it. We even ain't gonna know because ministers allowed Brent to remove the capacity to advertise. Isn't that interesting? No advertisement. So we even can't apply. And then Dion Folks is no longer required to have his ministry send a certificate to immigration to say that either there are qualified people or there are none. Oh boy. Lord, have mercy upon your people. Have mercy, dear Lord, because this bill, mind this a bill? This bill reminds me of the billy goat. That's what this reminds me of. This bill reminds me of a nanny goat and a billy goat. And the question is, who is the billy goat? And who is the nanny goat? What's the matter, my spiritual advisor? How it goes? Brent, lend me your. Oh boy. So, look what jobs are available that they are suggesting that we are not qualified to handle. Look at what jobs. They say captive insurance, reinsurance, mutual fund administration, arbitration wealth management, international trade, international, arbitrage computer programming, bioinformatics and analytics, arbitrage computer programming, software design and writing, maritime trade. Huh? Look at all these Negroes in the Bahamas. Where's the Bahama Journal? All these Negroes in the Bahama Journal attending conference, maritime. And Brent Simonette is allowing foreign white people to come, and they're saying that we are not qualified when over here, yes, right over here, is all kind of Negroes attending conference. And then over here is where Frankie, that illegal immigrant, is representing the Bahamas on the director of International Maritime Law Institute. But minutes put here, right? See right here? Then they got something called nanotechnology, biomedics, industries, boutique health, facilities, data storage, or warehousing, aviation approved maintenance operation. Aviation registration. I'll be right back.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. This is Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. My spiritual advisor, Bradley Roll, is in house. Bradley, how are you?
Rested, man. I went home early today, and I said I was going to get some sleep, man. Next thing I know, it was 10 after 4. You got to forgive me.
No problem.
I guess that's much needed rest on my behalf. Tired,
I thought that you were late because you are attending the party of the Bahamas ambassador to China.
Yes, we are going to that party right after the show, Mr. Monka. We're going to that. We've been invited.
Okay.
So we must go and see Sterling Quant and see him off to
well, my spiritual
China.
advisor.
And you want to get some China brush? So we're going to...
Well, my spiritual advisor, please forgive me.
Yeah.
I have other arrangements.
No, man, we got to go. We were invited, okay? We must go.
Listen to me.
To the ambassador.
You go there
party.
and you represent me, and you say to him that I say Ching Wang 42.
Well, that's interesting, eh? That'll be a perfect opportunity for you to shake the Prime Minister's hand, who I'm sure will be there, and also Sterling Quant.
Listen, tell Sterling Quant that I say Ching Wang 42.
That sounds like a dirty word. I can't do that.
Okay, my spiritual advisor.
Absolutely.
Before you arrive, I was talking, my spiritual advisor, about this commercial.
Yes, this is raising some serious concerns for a lot of people, Mr. Monka, but I believe this bill has been passed, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, it has been passed in the House of Assembly.
Okay, it
must now go to where those other Negroes are sitting up in the higher house.
The rubber stamp.
Yeah.
Well?
But we must resist this. It is not Bahamian friendly. This is for foreign white people.
Yeah, I guess obviously, yeah.
Yeah. We can't benefit from this.
Well, they use the term trickle down, eh?
Yeah, that means they're peeing on us.
I don't know. Mr. Monka, you always have a graphic way of explaining things, eh? What does that mean?
Urinating on our heads.
And calling it raining.
And saying it's a trickle down. You mean to tell me, Menace, right? The fourth Negro Prime Minister in an independent Bahamas, his priority isn't to empower
Bahamians.
Huh?
Bahamian business
Come
people.
on.
Yeah. Okay. I guess you got to look at it for what it really is.
This is a case of Uncle Tommy.
So this is a copy of the bill here?
Yeah.
I'll have to read this.
Yeah. We can discuss this next week.
Yes, absolutely.
All right?
Absolutely.
But there's one final observation before I leave it, and we'll return next week because I need to do some further research. Watch what they are saying in Clause 8. Clause 8 says, well, Clause 8 of the bill provides that an employee of an enterprise that has a specified commercial enterprise certificate may enter the Bahamas freely and begin to work. So once the person who got this commercial business make an application to Brent Simonet and Brent approve it, his employees can enter the country. You hear that? Not even having received an approval for a work permit. So there'll be all kinds of foreign people in our country working. Jobs created by this wicked policy of the F&M. And those of us who are the citizens, we ain't get nothing. Nothing for us. Nothing for us. All right? Nothing for us. And that is what I call economic racism. Economic racism. And so when we start this march, and I ask the question, what kind of bill this is, you tell me it is economic racism. That's what's going on. Economic racism. So let me conclude this last piece of reading. So the employee can enter the Bahamas freely and begin to work. However, the application for the work permit must be made within 30 days of that employee entry. The Director of Immigration has 14 days in which to determine the granting of the work permit. If the Director fails so to do within that time, the work permit is deemed to have been granted. A work permit granted pursuant to this act shall be for 3 years and renewable for an additional period of up to 3 years. Clause 9 provides that employees who are granted work permits under this act and are certified professionals are also required to comply with conditions for licensing by the relevant regulatory agency or professional body. Meanwhile, Haitians, children of Haitian descent born in the Bahamas, have been waiting for almost 10 years to get their application processed. And we know they're born here. They ain't like Frankie. See, Frankie ain't got no birth certificate. They ain't like Frankie. You examine Frankie mom's medical record and you don't see where he was born here. These are children who have their birth certificate and can prove with an examination of their mother's maternity files that they were born in the Bahamas. And we don't give them that benefit, and they're not going anywhere. Don't mind me to send some baby children to Haiti, perhaps today or a couple days ago. These people ain't going nowhere. But it is discriminatory. And that is why I have said that the young people of Haitian descent who can vote in the country, who are potential voters, you're going to have to join me on this great march, because it is discriminatory. And notwithstanding what anybody says, Haitians and Haitian descendants have helped us in the building and the reconstruction of the modern Bahamas. But it is wicked. I'll leave it for today, because I haven't completely read the document, and I need to read it some more.
Yeah, there's something that has to be read comprehensively.
But I am satisfied that we must stand up against the bill. Listen, we got to stand up against the bill. This is our country. We must tell Brent Simonet and Dr. Minnis we're not going to tolerate foreigners coming into our country and eating up the last piece of the economic pie. We will tell them that. And that don't mean that we are anti-foreigners. No. The Bahamas is our country, and we should benefit. We should be able to raise family and take care of the children down. How does that sound, my spiritual advisor?
The section here, application for work permit, seems very interesting.
What does it say? Read it to me.
It says any person entering the Bahamas pursuant to section 7.3 shall within 30 days of such entry submit a completed application for a work permit to the Department of Immigration in accordance with the Immigration Act, Chapter 191, and attach a copy of the said certificate along with the requisite documentation thereto. The Director of Immigration shall determine any work permit applied for not later than 14 working days after the filing thereof and the payment of the application fee. Failing which, the work permit shall be deemed to have been granted pursuant to this act.
I want you to read that piece a little louder.
Listen, let me go over this on the weekend, man.
My spiritual advisor in the name of the people, Dan.
I see something. Let me just
read it again. Come on, man. I want you to stop bending down. I told you no matter what they promise you.
Yeah.
Don't bend down.
Well, a lot of people are concerned about this. You know,
well, then
F&M, PLPs, all are concerned. The Director of Immigration shall determine any work permit applied for not later than 14 working days after the filing thereof and the payment of the application fee, failing which the work permit shall be deemed to have been granted pursuant to this act.
You see how dangerous that is?
Yeah.
Huh?
Don't put me on the spot today, man.
My spiritual advisor, your contract is protected.
Let me read this on the weekend.
Meanwhile, folks, I'm giving you a story. All right? I wrote Minnis based on his policy, because I live in Baintown and Grandstown. and my little taxi is going to be here in a couple of days' time because I caught hell. But praise the Lord, my taxi is coming in time for Christmas. I live in the area that ministers say is where the poor Negroes live. And I applied for my concession. I said, minister, give me a concession. They burned down my house. They damaged the existing taxi. I qualify. I even tell him that notwithstanding my complexion, I'm a Negro. What do you think he did? Instead of answering my letter, he issued statements saying there will be no tax-free zone until May. But by then, my vehicle will have to remain parked at custom. And by the time custom charge me for packaging, when May come and restoring, what the word is?
Storage fees.
For storage fees, when May come, the taxi gone. But minister, you can't spite me. You cannot spite me. And I only want Papa to know. Papa, please tell minister. Hold on a second.
Don't call it spite, man.
What you mean?
You said you wrote the
Papa, please tell minister to give me my concession the same way he's putting into law for the foreign white people them. Papa, tell him. Because he's mean, Papa. All right? Papa would never have done this to me. All right? But minister's being spiteful. But minister, you can't spite me. You just don't know what kind of Negro I am. I shall not be spited. But we're going to move you. Because it is time that the backbenchers rise up. Pastor Frederick McAlpine, it is time for a vote of no confidence in ministers. Backbenchers, all them juicy ministries that are available, y'all are not able to get one, nor make a meaningful contribution. Don't you see? It is time for a change. Let us organize and move ministers democratically. Because ministers is a stooge for the foreigners. He won't be stooge for the Bahamian people. This is a foreign bill. It's time to march. Frederick McAlpine, you are one of the saints of the church. Do not be afraid of ministers. It's time to move. It's time to move. Name me some F&M MPs so that I may incite them into moving a vote of no confidence. Are there any men in the upper house? Does Ronald Hanfield have balls? Huh? Is Hanfield a man? Huh? He sold out, get a little Senate appointment, and now his mother, first cousin, husband, the prime minister, is just faxing up the country. And we have to stand up against them.
Crimes down. Now jobs are my priority. Interesting statement from the Prime Minister.
Isn't the Prime Minister a political, what should I call him, that would be respectful? I won't say silly. Give me a respectful word.
I mean,
You mean to tell me
let's just read the story.
ministers can't fight crime and create economics for the people?
That's what he's about to do.
But crime isn't done.
He did say that there are a lot of people who are hurting, and
That is true.
his issue is he's trying to deal with the hurt that the people are feeling and trying to create jobs.
Listen, last
You gotta
week
stimulate
Thursday-
the economy. You got to get, pardon me?
Last week Thursday, shooting at the Catholic primary school.
Oh, yes.
On Monday, right? Sunday, shooting. They ain't reported yet. Tuesday, they lick off more shots in the front of the F&M headquarters.
I believe there may have been a murder today, if I'm not mistaken.
Who got murdered?
I think there was. I think there was a murder today. Oh, yes, off 8th Avenue somewhere.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, we did have a lull,
Listen,
for a short while.
tell the country what happened today.
But I listened to the news just briefly. I was
Tell
between
the
sleeping
country what
there was
briefly-
I think there was a murder today. An elderly man, I think, may have been stabbed. His neighbors discovered him in the house after he did not emerge. I think it was a general partner but seeing him, and they recognized that they didn't see him. And of course, when they called out to him, no answer. And I think they may have decided to call the police. When they entered the house, there he was, you know.
So you see?
So we do have
You see the
some crime
political
issues.
lies that the Prime Minister continued to tell us as he was declaring that the crime has ceased. A whole Negro man was being murdered. Huh? A whole Negro man has been murdered. A whole Negro man has been murdered. What did they use to kill the man with?
They say stab wounds. They didn't say
Okay.
stab wounds about the body.
But stab won't suggest knife, eh?
I guess so.
Or cutlass.
I guess so.
Was it a Bahamian citizen who was murdered?
Yes.
It was a Bahamian
Yes,
citizen.
it was. Elderly man, yeah.
Elderly man.
Yeah, they did identify him, but
Oh, boy.
I can't remember the name.
We are in trouble.
Yes, crime has always been an issue, Mr. Monco.
It's very political, you know.
I don't know if you can say crime is political.
Listen,
but,
it is very political.
That's always something I've disagreed with you with. So,
Well, we can always test it, you know.
yeah,
All
crime
right.
is not political.
I want you to tell these Negroes to stop it. I want you all to stop it. Don't you see the Conky Joe people don't kill nobody? Huh? And they eat conch salad too. Don't you see that the Conky Joes are not killing anybody? And I have a fear. And my fear is a real fear. That when I get to heaven, only the Conky Joe may be there. Okay? And we can't allow them to get there and we are not there. So I want all of us to stop killing. The Conky Joe ain't killed nobody since Janet Boswick got the woman off. The Conky Joe
See if we have any text.
has not committed any murder since Mrs. Janet Boswick got the last one off. Oh boy. My wife.
Now, you want to see if we have any text?
Yeah, read some text.
Good afternoon, Mr. Monco. Where are you getting all this information from? Ironically, when the PLP was in power, all that money was missing. All that corruption was going on. Where were you? Why wasn't you making noise then? I guess you have a grip with the FNM administration.
Stop. Listen. We thought that the PLP was committing corruption because of the lies of the FNM. Only now for the minister responsible for finance to tell us it wasn't true. We're now getting reports of FNM victimization where Marlon, that atheist, Marlon Johnson, is now telling people that as of what, today or tomorrow?
November the 24th is what? Today's date?
Today.
Yeah. It's today's. Well, it's a letter I have here in my phone.
Let's see the letter.
Somebody sent me. Let's see right here. There's that.
You
letter.
read it.
It's well. This letter has something to do with a contract. It says reference expiration of contract. It says you are hereby advised that your contract with the Ministry of Finance will come to an end on November the 24th, 2017. The Ministry of Finance is not minded to renew the contract. Accordingly, you are required to return the government's property that are in your possession to the Human Resource Department, Department of Inland Revenue, and in lieu of notice, you will receive 1 month's salary. I take this opportunity to thank you for your services rendered to the Department of Inland Revenue, Ministry of Finance, and this is sincerely yours, Marlon Johnson, ACT Financial Secretary. Is he the acting Financial Secretary?
What is ACT?
Acting, I assume. Ross? ACT? That means acting, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Marlon,
So just contract apparently is not being
Marlon
renewed.
just get a little job. Now he's firing people. Huh? Goodness me. Have mercy.
Well, okay. I got some more text here.
Read
it
some
says,
text.
Mr. Monkey, your show has been scrambled. What does it mean?
Really? They scrambled the show?
This came at the 4:56. Check with the producer and see what's
Tout le monde
happening.
haïtien. Est-ce que vous connaissez si scramble là? Show-moi.
We have another text here that says, Mr. Monka, we're letting you know that 50 persons at Inland Revenue are being sent home today,
Well, y'all didn't listen to Fred.
just before Christmas. But hey, it's the people's time.
Y'all didn't listen to Fred Mitchell. He warned you Negroes. He said, listen, This politics is about economics and job. You want to save your job? Vote PLP. If you don't care, go with those scallywags. And you went with them, and you have been cursed. You can't get paid, and they continue to fire you while arguing that members of parliament should be given an increase with their main self. Go ahead.
Mr. Monka, what do you think is going on in this country? What has happened to crime? The man just sent home another crew on Thanksgiving Day. So what jobs is he talking about? Let's see. Let's go further. Why is so much focus and attention being placed on this bill? And why is it a priority of the government so early in this time when it is nowhere to be found in their manifesto, nor in the speech from the throne? Never was a campaign promise. And surely does not empower the people who they promised it was their
This
time.
for Brent Simonet's special interest friends.
Yeah.
It's for foreign white people. That's what this for. A government takes care of its citizens first. Not these Negroes. Not these Negroes.
Good evening, gentlemen. Minister of Work said he wants to build 2 schools. Nothing wrong with that. But yet, we can't fix the road on our post office, Mr. Monica. What do you think?
Listen, you know what you're up against. Ministers them only in it for the salary. And they're now frustrated. They're not able to get it. Go ahead, my spiritual advisor.
Good evening, Mr. Monica. Senator, you're always talking about the phantom Haitian sloop, which came into Nassau, and not a single Haitian was supposedly found. Mr. Monica and spiritual advisor, could it be that the Haitian nationals could have gone into Abaco, Eleuthera, or maybe Exuma, and other parts of New Providence? Have you taken notice that the outbreak of TB seemed to have skyrocketed since the discovery of that Haitian boat in Adelaide? I believe that if those persons who may have tested positive for TB may have been on that slope. Their home and children came to school and infected. Oh, okay. What do you think about that?
Go to the next text.
Why you don't want to comment on that?
Go to the next text.
Mr. Monica, Branson is not serious. Misdemeanors have to do what the white man say do. Don't blame me. I vote PLP. Let them take their legs. Gentlemen, if the Prime Minister cares so much for people, why send the people home? If you and your government care so much, it's lies. Good afternoon, Senator. Is it true that the police shot and killed a man in Foxhill last night? You know anything about that?
I'm hearing things. I'm saying things. But just relax. We'll know the truth soon.
Much blessings, Mr. Monica. Why didn't the Prime Minister tell the Bahamian people about this bill before election? He totally swung the people. Wow, it's the people's time.
What time is it?
The foreign people time. That's what the
Yes,
text
that's
says.
exactly what it is. This is what you call economic racism. You say I could say it. I could say it. Because Mama family are Negroes. And my Pa family is a bunch of mulattoes, half white people and white people. So I could say it because I ain't scared of none of them. It is economic racism, and Brent Simonet is an embarrassment to the Negro people. Go on, Brent. No matter what you say or do, you're nothing but a Negro. Brent Simonet is a Negro just like me, and he's a disappointment.
Mr. Monica, all this bill will do, I'm trying to understand the thought here. All this bill will do is bring same-sex marriage to the Bahamas. Those foreign companies will bring all people who they've employed and who love same-sex marriage. I don't.
Just read the thing.
I'm trying to understand the logic to that.
Don't worry about the logic. Read. My spiritual advisor.
Good afternoon,
Yes.
Mr. Monica and spiritual advisor Sam Cox. Who's Sam Cox?
Just
how,
read.
How you doing?
Read. Read.
Luckily that's it. That's all the
There's
text.
no more text there?
No.
Okay.
Hold on. It has been said by the Minister of National Security. Well, look, let's read this text after the break. I won't have time to finish this one. This one kind of long.
Okay, that's the long one?
Yeah, this one is kind of long.
Great. The PLP is celebrating 64 years as a political party, it is the father of all political parties in the Bahamas. Happy 64th anniversary, and may you quickly bounce back and get rid of these scallywags.
Do you have something to say to the senator? Call Freedom March at 323-7775. Toll free from anywhere in the Bahamas at 242-300-0045. Freedom March with Rodney Monker, only on ILTV. This is Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. My name is Rodney Monker. I'm joined in studio by my spiritual advisor, Bradley Roll. You will recall that I have been complaining about the yachts that sails into the Bahamas, principally from the United States of America, the state of Florida, and how there is no control and regulations, and how the Bahamas government is failing to collect the taxes. And I am looking at the Bahama Journal. They had something in Florida. And so I'm going to show you a photograph of some Negroes who attended this yacht meeting in Florida. And I'm going to read one or two paragraphs so you can get an idea. Take, for instance, a lot of the mariners. They do not pay their mariners' tax in accordance with existing law. And the Negro government has not been successful in collecting it. We have to learn how to collect revenue so that it can be put in the consolidated funds for the development of our country. And you will find that many of these mariners and yachting groups in our country are owned, run, and controlled by foreign people. All right? You remember yesterday I asked Brent Summinet, I said, I ain't accusing you of nothing. But when last you pay your marina bill? When last? Because that is a fundamental problem. And we are being exploited. I just want to show you what this article says. It starts by saying Fort Lauderdale, Bahamas hotels, yacht, and marina operators from throughout the Bahamas were in full attendance at the recent 2017 Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show, held November 1st to the 5th, 2017 in Fort Lauderdale. The Bahamas operators were there to ensure that the boating enthusiasts knew that the mariners in the Bahamas were not impacted by the recent storms that devastated parts of the Caribbean, and that they are in fact open for business and ready to book. Now, you heard that? But we're not collecting any money from them yachts who are coming into the country because of a stupid policy that says that the yacht owners need not go through custom or immigration. And we let them come in, they pull a trick on us, they fly their people in, and there's nobody who knows to count their heads. And they give to the government that which they think they ought to give to the government. But nobody has sat down and come up with a clear policy to collect the money. And then you got these foreigners who own the marinas, and they are required to pay a marina tax. They ain't paying nothing. They ain't paying nothing. So we are being exploited. And so on their websites and in these international forums, they are allowed to invite these yachts into the country, but the Bahamian people do not benefit. Man, you all stupid. You all are a bunch of black, stupid Negroes. millions of dollars comes through the country. But these Negroes have not sat down, find experts, people who can advise them how you collect the tax. Remember, at the international airport, we had a Negro man who was a curry. For many of you men, you refer to him as Gun. Gun had a wonderful job. I believe it was Papa who gave it to him. I ain't sure, so I'm not trying to mislead you. What was his duty? His duty was to move among the airlines and collect the government revenue. You know the money he collected for the government? Just going down to the airport, ensuring those people pay their taxes. Somebody told me the other day, they may have let Gun go. All right, I ain't sure. I used to have his number. I can't find his number, right? And I can't believe that they got rid of him. That's what I hear. I hope I'm wrong. But if it is true, Menace is a mean, spiteful man. Remember, him and Gun had one argument, some political dispute in Abaco, I think it was, just after the election of 2012, where Papa had put up one guy to run when Papa resigned. And Menace them was down there trying to save North Abaco. I think I have it right. Please forgive me if I'm off. And apparently Gun and Menace got in a clash, and Menace reported him to the police. Next thing I know, they either lock him up, half lock him up, or attempted to lock him up, or charge him. And so the man had to make an appeal to Menace and say, oh Lord, I didn't mean what you say. You see why it's hide from Menace? And the next thing, the man was charged before the court. And I think Menace sent the man who's now the Attorney General, Carl Bettel, to Abaco, where he was charged, to tell the magistrate, Menace say he changed his mind. And that is how Gun was able to save his job. Now under the F&M, I hope I have it wrong, they fire him. But you see, he don't know that Menace is a mean and spiteful man. That's what I'm hearing. Okay? But I say all that to say that when you examine this article, we are beginning to see an incompetent maritime authority. They ain't come up with the means to collect the money. Listen to what they say. They say boating partners for the islands of the Bahamas were fully present to showcase, connect, and secure business for their respective establishments. Among them were the Bahamas Ministry of Tourism and Aviation, leading hotel and marina properties, the Bahamas Maritime Authority, and the Association of Bahamas Marina. I bet they pay their yacht fee all over the Bahamas. Hundreds of thousands of dollars, I submit, is owed to the Bahamas government. No wonder the country is in such a mess it is. We don't want to collect tax from foreign investors. Y'all is a bunch of stupid Negroes. Every time the foreign investor come, he say he ain't want to pay no real property tax. So we say, okay. He say he ain't want to pay no VAT. We say, okay. He say he ain't want to pay nothing. And we say, okay. And then what does our people benefit? We see it right here with the Chinese. The Chinese come. We allow them to buy the Hilton Hotel. Then they say they want to build the Point. But not one Negro helped to mix the mortar and lay the block. Y'all are a bunch of black stupid people. Y'all are a bunch of black stupid people. What kind of country you run? Where people come to invest and you don't get no job. So all I have to do is sit down and watch Chinese. Or sit down and watch Indian. Y'all stupid. Boy, y'all stupid. God forgive me for saying these things. But y'all stupid. Say y'all running country and we can't get no job. Any foreigner could come in the country and say, listen, I'm about to invest, but I don't want none of y'all Bahamians. And by Bahamians, they mean the Conquistador people. they mean y'all Negroes with your stupid self. That's what they mean. God forgive me for being, you know, a kind of arrogant. But that's what it means. So here you have the yachts. They come in. All kind of people slip through the country. And since they don't have to report to immigration, they don't have to report to custom, we don't know what illegally is being smuggled into the country. That's what's going on. But I don't know. This is the book that I'm supposed to read. But disappointment happens for better. If it's God's will, Monday, I have to come to the Lorraine so I could show y'all the sins of the Defense Force and the Royal Bahamas Police Force when 52 bales of cocaine went missing. You can imagine the amount of coke that either was on the streets and or exported out to people's country. And it is wrong to bring drugs on our street and to export it to our neighbors. Not only is it wrong, it's a sin. That's right. And that's what happened between the Defense Force and the police force. See it here? I'll never tell you who the commissioners were. Oh, let me tell you who the commissioners were, because I didn't tell you all the commissioners. Okay? The commissioners, because this was an investigation into Her Majesty's Bahamas ship, Inagua, and the undercover American vessel, Lorraine, that the U.S. government approved to come into the Bahamas with all that cocaine. And we should stop agreeing to foreigners using the Bahamas for sting operation, because the operation is never controlled. They ain't fool me. It is never controlled. What do I mean by that? If it is properly controlled between the United States Drug Enforcement Agency and the Bahamas Drug Enforcement Unit, it means the cocaine wouldn't escape. They ain't fool me. They are deliberately, that's a clever way for the two sides to bring drugs into the country so that they could push it. They think I'm stupid, eh? Huh? You sit back and think about it. The United States government and our agency say we can bring cocaine into the Bahamas as a sting operation. And when it is over, 52 bags. The Americans think I'm stupid, but I don't say anything because they're powerful. And I remember one night, an undercover American, he punched me so hard in my chest. In all my life, no one has ever punched me as hard. That punch that he gave me in my chest is what Mama would have called a TB blow. That's right. So the Americans don't play. So I hide from them. The same way I hide from Menace. Because that white man, I didn't do him anything. I was doing little journalistic work for the Tribune. When a whole white man got knocked down. I didn't know the white man was undercover. And I didn't know the white people them who was there was undercover. And when I started taking picture, that white man punched me so hard in my chest. Man, he punched me hard. As I think about it, I become emotional. That man draw right off. I had to turn to one light-skinned Negro man who apparently was in charge of them. I said, oh, Lord, I ain't do this white man nothing. Please don't let him beat me. And I plead to him, man, that white man punch hard? I've never in all my life has been punched as hard as that American punched me in my chest. And it was dark. And something say, listen, if this white man in the Bahamas punched you as hard as this, you better go further to Bell's gas station. I think I could find the American man because he held a high security position in the Bahamas. And I plead to him, the light-skinned American man. I said, oh, Lord, tell this white man, don't beat me this bad. Man, he punched me hard, and I know him nothing. Nothing I did that man. Other than I was playing journalism for the Tribune. But this Commission of Inquiry report is into the, as I told you, into HMBS Inagua and the Loricrin. This was a crime that they all committed on the 20th of June, 1992. And the Governor General, who appointed this commission of inquiry, was Dame Ivy Dumont. And the members of the commission was Mr. Justice Stanley Moore, he was the president. Archbishop Drexel Gomez, he was commissioner. And Sir Albert Miller. And of course, two of the members of the Commission of Inquiry are now deceased, namely Justice Stanley Moore and Sir Albert Miller. But Archbishop Drexel Gomez is still alive. Listen, I learned a lot of things. I was shocked as I sat in the commission and discovered that the American government had paid the Defense Force some officers. Only thing they had was the identity. $7,000. Man, the Americans got plenty of money. Came right out in the Commission of Inquiry. But many of you all don't know. So next week, I'm going to go into the Commission of Inquiry because I want to compare that scenario with the missing custom forms. And I will show the Defense Force why I have difficulty believing them, because history is repeated. And because I'm 60, and I remember the Commission of 2004, I'm able to do investigative journalism. Investigative journalism. Spiritual advisor, the weekend is coming. Yeah. Talk to my Negro people.
Let me see, I think
because my clock ain't waking.
Oh, yeah, we need to know what time it is.
It is almost time to end the show.
I got somebody send me some text. Let me just read this quickly.
Read the text.
Mr. Monker.
We got 10 minutes to go.
Oh, man. Here we go.
Yes.
Breaking news. It says, I don't know how do they identify these people. It says 2 PLP bus contractors for education got their contract terminated today with no notice. Well, we expected this. We also learned that some 10 workers at the mortgage relief are expected to be given formal notice of their termination on Tuesday coming.
Yes.
We have also learned that the Cabinet of the Bahamas has approved the shutdown of that agency, which was put in place to protect homeowners by the former administration. Mr. Monker, plenty of people are going home for the holidays. Is it really the people's time?
Listen.
And why won't the media report?
Cut on my clock.
Why won't the media report these things?
Well, I say, don't worry. Be happy. Here's what you all vote for. Fred told y'all. Fred Mitchell told y'all. He said, listen, this is about bread and butter. This is about holding on to your job. If you vote for the F&M, you're going to lose these jobs. But if you vote for the PLP, you're going to hold on to the job. You all forget, this is what we call pork barrel politics. You all know it?
Mr. Monker, good afternoon. I found your comments this afternoon to be extremely offensive.
Which one?
By calling my black Bahamian people stupid. Mr. Monker, suppose I reverse it and call you stupid sometime. I have to wonder if you are Bahamian. Please, could you apologize to the people, Mr. Monker, because these words are hurting. I told you.
My spiritual advisor.
The Bible says to let your speech be seasoned with salt.
My spiritual advisor, so every time I curse out the Negro people, I confess myself. I confess my sin. We are, and y'all are, stupid. I don't mean to hurt anybody.
But don't say it.
My spiritual advisor, you're missing the point. When you look at the policy and the bill, only stupid people would support this. This is not in the interest of the nation. So, it's stupid. There was a great white man in the United States of America.
You're criticizing the bill then?
Who said, the economy, how it go? It's stupid, eh? What Bill Clinton said.
Bill Clinton? I can't remember.
Well, whatever it was, he called some people stupid. And he meant white people. It's stupid!
They have a question for you. Mr. Monker. We want to know, why is Commonwealth Bank asking if you're related to anyone in government before you open an account? Why are they doing that?
some policy, because one bank, I went to the bank and the bank wanted to know if I was still in the Senate. And I told them, in my mind, I'm in the Senate. They ask you all kind of questions.
Mr.
Some
Monica.
white people in the IDB or whatever told them to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Monica, do you think that Dr. Menace may have promised certain people plenty stuff before election? Now he has to live up to his word?
I think Brent Simonet is wrongly manipulating Menace. Don't forget, Menace need a white man or a Negro man who looks white in the cabinet. All right?
Mr. Monica, why did Brent Simonet come back to frontline politics? To do some foolishness like this? What do you think?
I say let's march on Brent. And when we march on Brent, I will test whether or not Brent is an alien. And I would say to Brent, booyaka.
Mr. Monica, are you aware of a stench-like scent coming from Bama? I can recall that same smell while I was driving through McCullough Corner. I don't know. You know anything about that, Mr. Monica?
I shall hold my comments. Go ahead.
Mr. Monica, I want to know, how do I sponsor the show? I want to sponsor the show.
Listen, come here, ask for Brad Gibson, and all he will do is accept sponsorship.
Good afternoon, Mr. Monica. I would like to wish Arizel.
Arizel?
Well, I'd like to wish Arizel a very happy birthday, coming in from her dad and those who love her. Thank you, Mr. Monica.
Arizel, your dad and the family, they love you. They wish you a happy birthday.
All right, here we go. Let's see.
Aren't you going to wish Cartwright a happy birthday?
Arizel Cartwright? Who's Cartwright?
The Conky John
Oh,
man
yes, Mr. Cartwright. Yes,
say.
happy birthday. Is it today or tomorrow?
His birthday is tomorrow, but you will
Happy
not
birthday.
be on TV tomorrow.
Yes, happy birthday.
You told him?
Coach Cartwright. I think he's going to be 80. That is a milestone, eh?
I believe he's younger than that.
Yeah, he says he's going to be 80. But
he
happy
says he's
birthday,
gonna be 80.
happy birthday, Coach Cartwright.
All right, Cartwright, happy birthday. Go ahead.
Well, we're near the weekend, Mr. Monken. We want to wish all Bahamians a safe weekend.
Yes.
But I have something I want to read just quickly.
But before you read it, Sister Bo, Sister Patrice Bo, today is your birthday. Happy birthday. Go ahead.
Some encouragement coming from the words of Jesus Christ in the book of Matthew, chapter 5, starting verse number 38. Here's Jesus on retaliation. He says this: "You have heard that it was said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth.
Yes.
But I say to you, do not resist the one who is evil.
Yes.
If anyone slaps you on the right cheek, turn to him the other as well.
Oh, hallelujah.
If anyone would sue you, Mr. Monka, and want to take your tunic, let him have your cloak as well.
Okay.
And if anyone forces you to go 1 mile, go 2 miles with him. Give to the one who begs from you, and do not refuse the one who would borrow from you. You have heard it said, you have heard that it was said, you should love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I say to you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you.
Oh, hallelujah.
So that you may be sons of your Father who is in heaven. For he makes his sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and he sends the rain on the just and on the unjust. If you love those who love you, what reward do you have? Even the tax collectors and the sinners are doing the same thing. And if you greet only your brothers, what more are you doing than others? Do not even the Gentiles do the same? Be perfect, therefore, as your heavenly Father is perfect. So we're hoping this weekend would be a safe weekend for all of our folks.
Are you still going to the party?
Mr. Monka, we have a general invitation to go and sit down with Sterling Kwan this afternoon at a restaurant
He's
on
going
East
to China?
Bay Street. Yes, he's going off to China.
Well,
we must wish him well.
Please apologize. Tell him I had a previous
why you don't want to
arrangement.
come? Why you don't want to come, Mr. Monka?
Huh? I really don't want to come.
You don't want to come?
No.
You can't be.
I'm going to leave it to
you. can't
you.
duck minutes for the rest of your life, you know.
I'm hiding from him.
Is
Listen
small.
to me.
The country is small.
I'm hiding from him.
If
Folks,
if you could be on TV
this weekend,
bashing him, you need to face him face to face.
this weekend, I shall continue to hide from the Prime Minister so that he wouldn't accuse me of saying anything wrong to him. So I'm going into hiding. I think I'm going to hide in Camp Road this weekend because there is a Negro woman who's been continuously inviting me. So I'm going to hide in Camp Road. Don't let the Prime Minister know. And hopefully, I'll see you all on Monday. And I want the people then to please be careful. Work with the police. Let's not kill anybody. Murderers one day will be hanged in the Bahamas. If you kill, you're going to hell. And if you kill, the Bible teaches, if you live by, my spiritual advisor.
Yeah, if you live by the sword, certainly you will die by it.
And if you live by a gun, my spiritual advisor.
You'll die by it.
Wow. Anyway.
The gun has replaced the sword now more than time.
Take good care.
It is what it is. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Spiritual advisor.
Absolutely, Mr. Moncur.
You're such a great
You're a great man as well. A great activist for the country.
You think so?
Yeah, you're a great activist.
Then we must kill the bill.
You're a great activist.
I want the people to kill the bill. And I'm prepared to march.
Yeah.
And today, I purchased 333 placards. I'm ready to march.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
Lord
All the best.
Jesus,
be safe.
Protect my people, protect my country, and protect me. And may the people rise up against this special interest commercial enterprise bill. The bill is sinful, it is wicked, and it is practicing economic racism. Do well, my Negro people. Rise up against the bill peacefully.
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Rodney Moncur, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.